All right, so we have the customer client communication form filled out. We have a task assessment checklist completed, and we have completed a detailed method of procedure. The next step is the actual energized work permit. Okay, so here is the energized work permit. To begin this, it's a lot of repetition. Customer name, put it in there. All right, disregard. Okay, we got our job number, the location or the area. It's let's say it's southwest corner of building 617. Projected start date 03/27/12, and the time 1500. Okay. Value entered does not match the format of the field. Top time, say 3 p.m. And that tells you exactly, if you hold a mouse over it, it'll tell you how you need to enter it. Okay, so 3 p.m. The detailed method of procedure form has been completed. This is not a question, this is a statement. If it's no, you're going to have to go back and redo the MOP before you even try to submit this. So you're definitely going to want to put the form attached on there. But the next question is there a one-line diagram available for review? If yes, please attach it, or you can click no. If it's possible, please try your best to get a one-line diagram so we can attach it to this thing and review it in process. Shock hazard analysis, voltage level, phase to phase. Okay, so we got 480. Approach boundaries, back from our task assessment checklist, we'll put the same thing on there. 3 foot, 6 inches, 1 foot, and 1 inch. Flash hazard, flash boundary calculation results. If you remember from the task assessment checklist, it was 19 feet. I believe it was 5 inches. Hazard risk category for the task, also from the task assessment checklist, to category 2. ATPV rating and calories per square centimeter for the arc rated clothing. Remember, it was a category 2, so it has to be, the ATPV rating has to be an 8. Means employed to restrict access of unqualified persons. Here you're going to want to check everything that applies. If you're going to use signs and tags, great. Are you also going to use a barricade? Fantastic, put it on there. You're going to use somebody that's going to keep people out as well? There you go. Description of the safe work practices to be employed. Restrict access to protect unqualified personnel. Well, that's definitely, we're going to try to do that. Eye wash, body irrigation facilities available. If it is, click it. Fire extinguisher accessible. If it is, click it. If it's not, get a fire extinguisher and make it accessible, then click it. Nearest AED location identified. If you can't find one, if there's not one available, put NA over here to the side. Say not one available on site. Emergency plan phone numbers posted. You're going to want to put that on there. Communication equipment accessible. Definitely needed. Supplemental lighting, non-conductive of course. You're going to want that. When you get into wearing the hoods, even with the arc rated face shield, lighting is limited. So you're going to want to increase the lighting, and if we have to use supplemental light stands, we need to put that in place. Fuse puller, rope or hand line, portable GFCI for tools, test before the use, protective grounding set, inspect before use, means to secure doors and panels, test equipment required, insulated tools, voltage rated, 1000 volts, insulated blanket, it's got to be voltage rated. Put the inspection date down here. Same thing if you have the insulated mats. These both of these, blankets and mats, have to be tested, certified with a stamp on them at least annually. So make sure you check your equipment before actually going to work. Ladder, you're going to use a ladder, non-conductive side rails, safety shoes, arc-rated clothing, arc-rated face shields, safety glasses, which is Z87 compliant. Insulated sleeves if you need them, leather protectors, insulating gloves. Put the date on here. Put the date of each pair of gloves on here. You can put the one in here if you're filling out on the computer, and then list the other one right underneath or right to the side of it. Earplugs, and then hard hat. Check everything that you're going to need, and then come on down to the two journeymen performing the work. One's going to be performing the work, the other's going to be a safety watch. Okay? Have they reviewed, and this is a question to the individual because they're going to have to print their name and sign and date it. So have they reviewed the task assessment checklist? Well, that should be a yes every time. Reviewed the detailed method of procedure? Same as above. Agrees that the work can be done safely? Most definitely. So I should see yeses in all those boxes. And then the last part of this form is the electrically knowledgeable customer representative. This can be the same person that signed the customer communication form. Can be the same person. Is that person electrically knowledgeable? We need to have some assurance that the person actually making the decision has some type of knowledge about his system. So once that person sign and date, a Miller Electric Company project manager or vice president, they sign and date. And then last but not least, Miller Electric Company safety representative has to sign and date. Right now, there is myself, William Watson, and if there is a safety coordinator on one of our sites, then that person would be allowed to sign as the safety representative as well. And that concludes the Energized electrical work permit. Okay, so that is the Energized work permit in a nutshell. One last thing about the electrically knowledgeable customer representative. This person doesn't need to be a JW or anything, but the person does need to have some knowledge of how their system is designed or how their system operates. Now, we can help them through this process by getting with them, showing them the one-line diagrams, showing them what pieces of equipment affect other pieces of equipment, various locations or various ways we can actually defer this effort to a scheduled outage, and the end result, protect people. But that person who signs that part of the form does need to have some type of knowledge. We just can't have anybody signing that form for the customer. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Thanks again, and I hope this was beneficial.